Alright, so same thing as last time. I've had the Sigma 16mm f1.4 for a couple weeks now, maybe a little bit longer. But I've been wanting something for B-roll, something that's tighter, so I decided to buy a new toy. And same thing as the last video, they don't really put that it's for Canon, so it just says 30mm f1.4, so I'll put that down. Alright, so I've been having the, again, Sigma on here. So this is the 30mm this time. Equivalent's gonna be a 48, so kind of like a 50. I've never taken this off since I got it, so this is the first time I'm taking it off. Whew! Hot doggy. Dang, this feels like a small camera again. Man, this one's heavy compared to this one. Alright, so we're gonna switch over to this one, get some footage of that to see how the 30mm looks. Alright, so I have the 30mm on the camera body right now, so I just want to get the obvious out of the way. You can't vlog with this one. I'm like 2 to 3 feet behind. If I scoot up, brace yourself. If I scoot up, this is how I would normally sit. It's not as bad as a 80mm equivalent, but still, this is obviously not for vlogging. So I'm gonna switch back to the 16 and continue the video. Alright guys, so I have the 16mm back on my camera body. Again, I have the Canon M50. I just wanted to quickly show you the lens itself. So this is how I usually have my lenses. If it comes with a lens hood, I'll put it on backwards to kind of serve as a protector. So if I lay it down, it you know, absorbs the scratches. I don't use manual focus too much, so this doesn't bother me. If I do, I pre-plan it, so I'll already have this off. And then I just have my step-up ring so that I didn't have to get a new ND filter. So I'm just going to show you some footages. Again, I know there's tons of videos already out there showing you the difference in focal lengths, you know, what a 30 looks like, what a 16 looks like. This looks exactly like the 30mm version of Micro Four Thirds in the Sony mount. It's the exact same lens, it's just a different mount. I just had a hard time knowing if I wanted to buy this because I wanted a B-roll lens, and I've had a nifty 50 with an adapter before, so that was like an 80mm equivalent. So I've never had a 50. I've always either had lenses that were under 30mm, or I had that nifty 50 that was an 80, so that's a huge gap. So I was going to buy the 50mm again, and I saw this and I thought maybe this would be perfect because it's still, you know, it's still compressed, you still get that, you know, like zoomed in look, but it's not as bad as the 80. The 80, man, I had to make sure I had room because if I was like in a tight spot, I wasn't getting the shot because either their face was all up in the frame, or I just couldn't get the shot. So this one, I've already used it a little bit. This one, I can tell that it's still in, just not as much as the 80. So I think this one's gonna be good. But I do have something to say about the 80 towards the end of the video. Right now, I'm just gonna show you some sequences that I did with the 16 and the 38, so you can kind of see side by side what they look like respectively. So let's check it out. All right, so that was it. Now the one thing I was gonna say is the 56 mil. It's 429 bucks, and the reason I say it like that is because, man, if you want an 80 mil, because again, well, I'm talking in equivalence to APS-C, because the number you're purchasing isn't really the number you're getting. So I'm just gonna say the equivalent of. If you're trying to get an 80 mil, I don't see why you wouldn't just get the Canon 50 mil with an adapter, because that, let's say the Canon M50, I'm sorry, the 50 mil, right? That's like 129 brand new. So let's say worst case scenario, 129 brand new. Let's go with the most expensive. Well, no, that's not like say that, because you're kind of a sucker if you buy the $100 Canon adapter. And I mean, no offense if you did buy it, but I'm just saying, like, that's expensive. Where you could easily buy like a Viltrox one for 40, and it's the same thing. So let's say let's use those numbers, 130 and 40 bucks. So I don't know, 170. 170 versus 429. And again, that might be unfair. I've never even tested the 56 mil, and Sigma usually has good images, but I've used the Canon one. Man, that video is crazy good. So I take that with a grain of salt, really, because I haven't tested the Sigma. But if you're trying to get an 80 mil, I would look at the Canon with a Canon 50 mil with an adapter, because that's like like we said, 170. That's the most, versus the other one's 429. Now my final thoughts. It's great if you have the luxury of buying it. Let's say you only have enough money for one, either the 16 or this. Hands down, I'm telling you, without a doubt, get the 16. The 16 is, oh my god. Like, it's not close, so I do have to get close to like people or things if I want to get like that tight look. But I mean, still, I'd rather do that than to get this and not be able to vlog with it. The 16 is, I can get close to do some cinematic B-roll, and then I can use it for vlogging. And it's just so dang good, versus this. This is good too, don't get me wrong, but I can't vlog with this. This is way too tight. My face would be all up in the camera. You'll be able to see what I ate like last week. So this, I just had the luxury of being able to buy this one as a supplement. But if I only had to pick one, no question, 16 for sure. But nonetheless, this is still a good lens, and I think I'm gonna keep this one versus trying to go for an 80 mil, because again, I hated being in the position where I wanted to use the 80, I just didn't have enough room, and this is going to give me back that wiggle room. But again, if you're in that situation where you don't have enough room, 16, perfectly fine to just get in close. So that was it. Again, this wasn't a technical review, or this wasn't a review at all. This is just kind of like a first impressions. Again, I haven't seen anybody put a video up on the Canon EFM version of this lens. I think it's good. But again, if you only have money for one, go with the 16. So that was it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you subscribe and you watch my future vlogs, all my B-roll is going to be with this one. So if you want to see more examples of how this is going to look, just go ahead and subscribe. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.